So I'm right here in the shop working today, this evening. Got my new hat on. Of course, it's backwards because, you know, the way the phone is, and I can't read the comments with the phone this way, and we don't have internet out here right now again in the shop. So we're going to work on that next week, get internet going, and then I can turn this thing around so everything isn't backwards. So this is my left side, this is my right, this is my right, this is my left, this is my, you get the picture. You get the picture. So we're going to have a little pipe out here. We're going to do a little vanilla tonight. Oop, I moved the table on us. A little vanilla. The drag's not quite right yet. We're getting kind of professional at this. So there's a little, instead of the other kind of tamper I have, I use that one. And of course, got a new lighter. But yeah, so we're going to do a pipe right here. I'm going to talk about hot rods. So, let me know if you can hear me today. I did this yesterday and the mic was messing up pretty bad because we weren't using the actual mics, but I got them on today. So let me know if I'm on there and how the sound's working and what's going on with everybody. Let me kind of tip this so it looks right. There we go. So I have a heck of a time with this. Down in the comments, tell me if you can hear me good. I got a thumbs up, so I'm thinking that means you can hear me better today than yesterday. I'm out here working on the 55, working on the intake, getting it all cleaned up over here, and getting it looking good. So we got pipes and hot rods. So Tory Time says, sounds good. Well, I'm a lot better today than it was yesterday in the sound. That's good to hear. So, anybody have any questions out there? What's up, Jimmy? So, Rob, what's happening? I'm glad you liked your soap. You have tried CBD. I have not tried CBD. I'm brand new at smoking these pipe tobaccos. But we were at the farmer's market working all day. We just got home a little while ago and come out here to the shop. I had a couple more little small parts come in. And then we're ready to start rolling. I got the manifold looking pretty good. And again, Rob, thanks so much for the kind words you made my bride's day. She sold a few more today out there, and I'm glad you like the soap. And for everybody just joining us here, what Rob and I are talking about is he bought some knuckle scrub soap from us, which is a pure beef tallow. It's a grass-fed beef tallow, and it just has all the good stuff in it. We didn't add a bunch of crap to it and a bunch of chemicals and things like that. Just necessary to make soap, and that's basically it. Has pumice in there, a little bit of pumice to give it a little bit of a texture to it, and would exfoliate. I think that's the word they use, is exfoliates. But it doesn't dry out. And that other stuff, will dry you out. All right, glad Kim liked it. That's cool. Very cool. And then I got something here in I'm not sure what kind of language that is, but I hope it's good. Now, this thing's kicking my butt today, boy. There we go. I got one. So it says, looks like I need a tamper, and I just did that. It was kind of loose and wasn't going, so I tamped it, and I guess now it's going. And I'm new to this, so any advice you got, I'm not a pro by no means. I'm about 2 weeks into it. And then the music says, which state are you from? I'm from Idaho, north central Idaho. So this pipe is so the brand of tobacco is a vanilla, and it's a smoker-friendly vanilla. And then the pipe is, I forget the name of it now, it's a M-I-N, oh, I can read it better on this one because they're both the same. It is a M-Y-O-N. And I got this cool little pipe guy that holds my stuff. So he's my latest addition. And he holds these pipes like so. Well, I smoked this one yesterday. It's got a big old bowl on it. It's quite a bit bigger. And I'm trying to keep the same tobacco in each one. This one is a black cherry I've been smoking in it. And this one's been a vanilla. But it's going good now. Yeah, woo. All right. Yeah, the vanilla is a lot smoother than that black cherry. That black cherry is kind of rough. So, but yeah, we're new to the pipe smoking business here. But we're not new to the soap. And then so Colin says, if you're going to stick to it, try the premium pipe Peterson. I've seen the Peterson online. You know, like I said, I've been into this 2 weeks. This is the local smoke shop guy I got this from. These were like $49. And let's see, the volume as well. Somebody said the Ben Wade is a good one. And then I've had a lot of people say different things, but I've heard of the Peterson quite a bit. A few others as well, but one of their premium ones will treat you much better. Well, that'll work. And then Mason Ballard, do you like cigars? So I haven't smoked many cigars. I didn't think they were anything great. My wife has my father-in-law passed away years ago, and we found in a trunk that we had. Long story with the trunk, but we found all his pipes, German pipes, and we smoked them. And then I didn't want to wear them out and use his stuff all the time, so we got them on a little display that we bought. And then I bought a couple of my own, and that's kind of what we're doing. Can't go wrong with a Vauen, V-A-U-E-N, white dot. Okay. Going to cost you 150 plus, but very good. Woo! Okay, my wife's watching, so you can't tell her it's 150 bucks. Just say it's a great deal. I think she's watching. She was on earlier. I don't know if she switched off, but if you ever want to try a good yet cheap cigar, Maker's Mark is good. Okay, I haven't done much of the cigar thing. I'm just going to do this pipe stuff for the most part. And, a few times a week to relax in the evenings, that kind of stuff. But I really like it. It's kind of fun. Oh, she's watching. So Colin said it was $1.50, not $150. But these seem to work good once I get it tamped right. I don't think I have any real issues with it, but obviously a better pipe is better. You know, there's no doubt about that. So, and then Tory Time says, and then let's see, Rob, smash it like guys, and subscribe. Thanks, Rob. Yep, smash and like, hit them buttons, get that thing going. And thank you, Tori. Kim loves the soap too. That's good to hear. And I saw your little Jimmy James garage. You had it hung up in your shop. And your garage looks very well organized. That's pretty cool. So Tory Time said, glad to hear it, Rob. Appreciate your support. And then Mason, do you like fishing? I know they have white sturgeon in Idaho. I used to be really big into fishing, and I'm not big into it anymore. They do have great fishing here. I mean, I saw all the boats all over the river today, and we went up to Moscow, and Rob said thanks. Went up to Moscow, saw the boats on the rivers there, and you got the Dorshag, big lake here, and yeah. So used to be big into it. I got a bunch of fishing poles in the room up there, and tackle and all that good stuff. I even buy a fishing license in the sportsman's pack every year, and I haven't used it basically in quite a few years. I am into deer hunting still. I still do a lot of deer hunting. They got nice deer hunting here. In fact, we saw 4 dead deer on the way to Moscow today. So they're starting to pop out everywhere on the roads. So, yeah, I'm big into mule deer hunting. I drew a good tag here in Idaho last year, or 2 years ago now. I drew a really good draw. Only 25 tags in the area, and I killed a good mule deer. Now this one smokes pretty good compared to this. We were talking, calling about different pipes. This one's kind of hard to smoke. It's real big, got a real deep chimney to it, where this one smokes really good. I mean, I can, not talk with it for a few minutes, or, puff on it for a few minutes, and yeah, it still stays lit. It works good. It's a hair small, but it's comfortable. It's balanced good. Well, this one smokes way better than that Big Red one, than Big Red. Big Red's not quite as forgiving. I guess if I knew what I was doing a little bit better, it'd be better. If I had one of them Petersons, or what'd you say? The other one was VAUEN. Uno momento, por favor. I can write that down. So I can't see my lives afterwards, so I got to write this stuff down. Uh-oh, I think it went dead. This one I said it wouldn't. So it was VAUEN. All right, we'll look at those here a little later tonight while I'm surfing the World Wide Web. And then where are we at here? So, let's see, Colin. I have 7. Is it Vaughn brand? 4 are white dot. Oh, white dot. I read that now. White dot. DOT. 4 are white dot. Couple I spent $250 on new, but well worth it. My cheapest pipe was used in very good shape. Okay. And when you said used, where'd you find it used? I mean, where do you find those things like that? Hey, I tried to find 3 Bike Guy channel with no luck. Hey, Rob, same thing. I went there afterwards, and then 3 Bike Guy right there, and no luck. eBay on the pipes. Okay. Yeah, Rob, the 3 Bike Guy, I couldn't find him. I don't know which one he was, but if he's back on here again, we'll have to ask him again. But okay, so Colin said eBay for those pipes. That's where I got some of these car parts that just showed up from eBay. This lighter is brand new and it sucks. I gotta. It's like it's empty. Garbage. You got all sorts of information here. Where have you been? I should have talked to you a while ago. So use a. I'm writing all this stuff down. ISOPROPYL. Zippo. So I had this one I bought when I first got these pipes, and it stopped. It quit on me, but it lasted a long time. This piece of junk I just bought today, and it's already struggling. Well, I don't know. I need to buy a good lighter, that's for sure. But it's burning pretty good now, so. So Colin, I got all that written down. I appreciate the help. Appreciate it a bunch because I don't know, what I'm doing. So when you don't know, you don't know. The guy that kind of helped me on this stuff was Vance. Vance is a guy at a smoke shop. Kind of a funny story. When we first smoked those German pipes of my father-in-law's, the guys at the reservation said, "Hey, you want this tobacco here? $8, big old giant bag." And I thought, "Oh, okay." Oh man, it messed us up, made me sick. I was like, I'm not good with this pipe smoking stuff. And then I was talking to Vance about it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's kind of like the lowest form you could possibly get, and real bad stuff." So, butane flame will burn hotter. A wooden match or a Zippo lighter will keep from overheating the tobacco. Good to know. That's what I was told. I could get away with the butane. But you're saying that not even that. So Vance here gave me some matches too. I can use a match also. And then, so if you use the Zippo, is there another fluid in there that besides butane you use? There's so much to it. I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm learning as we go. And I'm enjoying learning, that's for sure. It's been fun. Does vanilla have a strong taste to it? No, none of these have a big taste to them. None of these aromatics really taste like much. Now that Native American stuff I bought, it got some taste to it. It tastes like a dirty cigarette. It's like the old Bugler. Those old cans of Bugler, you know what I'm talking about. I killed it again. It made yuck. These are fine. There's not much to them really. It's more the smell. And then when I open up so I put it in a jar and put one of the little dryers in there. And when I open it up, it smells like almost like fresh baked cookies or something. But they are relaxing, I got to tell you. I didn't realize how relaxing these things were. But quietly just sitting here and looking over the car parts and doing the stuff. They are relaxing, that's for sure. Colin, my advice is to try a different tobacco every time. You may find some that cause tongue bite, but you will find some that are quite pleasant. Okay, so that black cherry stuff I bought bites my tongue pretty good. I mean, if you notice, and this one a little bit, just a little bit it does. And then he gave me some mixed stuff that was in their little jars that Vance gave me, and I haven't tried that. Classic Car Guy, what's up? What's up? CCG, what's happening? We're having a little pipe here and a little live. And Colin here is giving me some advice. some great advice. And of course, I got Rob on here taking care of me all the time. Appreciate that, Rob. And trying to learn about pipes. How's the weather out there today? So today we're in Moscow, not like Moscow, but Moscow. We're at the farmer's market helping a really close friend of mine. And he was, produces a bunch of dog treats and chews and all natural office property type thing. Anyways, long story, but we were out there helping him and selling them. And we help him a lot with, different things around his house when he needs to, and like I said, we've been real close for years, and if he says, "Hey, we're around," we show up, and it was good up there. At some point I was kind of getting warm, but now it's clouded up. We got a little rain driving home. We got these big giant puffy clouds out here and some overcast, so we got some wind coming in. One thing about Idaho is we definitely get weather. We get these crystal blue, unbelievable skies during the day. And then all of a sudden, these big clouds are rolling and drop a bunch of hail on you and rain on you and snow. And then an hour later, it's 75 degrees and sunny out. It's one of the most interesting places I've ever lived. Everybody says, "Oh, go here, wait 10 minutes, the weather will change." Nothing like this. This is really, really different, really unique. And, we're at 4,000 foot, so we tend to get weather because of the elevation we're at. But we always enjoy it. I actually like weather. I think weather is fun. Yeah, my uncle called me today from Montana. He said they reached about 60. Okay. Yeah, I think we're a little bit warmer than that. Wasn't much warmer, but it was probably 65, 60, somewhere in there. It was warm enough. There was quite a few people walking around there in shorts and flip-flops. We're in the shade where his booth is set up. So pretty much I had this on all day, just like this. So it never took it off, never went to a t-shirt. So, but yeah, it's hopefully gets here. We've had a little bit of weather this last week. 2 weeks ago, we had just phenomenal weather. It was super sunny out, warm out, mowing lawns, and everything was good. Now, just about every day we've had rain, but not all day. Warm and then rain, warm and then rain, warm and then rain type thing. So Dunhill Nightcap and Dunhill Early Morning Pipe were the best ever made. They closed. Peterson bought and reopened the plant and now selling them under the Peterson name. I suggest you try them once. Okay, now is the Peterson, is that the one that was from Ireland? Is that the one I was reading on? The Peterson? And it was, where I saw it was that guy that on YouTube, the Pipe Cottage. And he's a red bearded guy. He's got a real heavy accent, Southern type accent. And, that's where I heard of Peterson. That's why I started looking at it. And then also I picked up a collection from a real good friend of mine. I haven't got it yet, but there's 10 pipes in it, and they're pretty cool. And I don't know what they all are, but didn't pay much for them. So it was from another friend of mine. I went to high school with her. It was her dad had passed away years ago, and they finally gave him up. And so I picked them up from them. And yeah, so when I get them here, they look really cool. There's some names and stuff on them. So we'll see how it turns out. But I'm not sure why this brand new lighter is having issues. And that was Dunhill. There we go, Dunhill. So, all right. That'll give me something to look at besides car parts. So I got the intake, Rob, out here. I come out here while we were checking on the goats and we got a bunch of pregnant little Nigerian dwarfs, some little small ones, and we were gone all day, and we thought we might come out to some babies, but we did not. And our girls have been pretty good. They don't tend to have babies at night. Hopefully they keep up the tradition. But this one now, a little bit of a bite, especially when it gets down a little lower in the pipe. But the intake's looking good. I'll show it to you. So the port's cleaned up. I haven't actually put the die grinder to them yet, but I've got them all shined up. And I got this part cleaned up, got this all buffed here. And then here, when I paint it black, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna sand these down with a block. So what I do is, I paint it, let it set up, and I come back with a sanding block. And then those little things stand out. And it would be, you know, the aluminum with the black. It'll look pretty good. It'll match the valve covers in that air cleaner. And that's the look I'm going for, so. Colin, I am a diesel mechanic, by the way. Anything mechanical I know. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I was a mechanic at one point. And then I decided to go another route. That looks great. Thanks. It does. It turned. That intake's in good shape. I mean, it really is. And I was looking at the ports and the gaskets, and they're not far off. In fact, I think somebody's machined it down when they machined the block here, because it's got a lot of machine marks on that face of it, and I'm pretty sure it's not factory. So I don't know if they resurfaced it or what they did. So with all the port work and all the stuff that's been done to these heads, they did something with that intake, but they didn't do the ports inside. So I'm gonna have to go and clean those up. I just can't function without having a ported intake in this. Well, I have the heads, but you know, it's just not my jam. Let's see here. Any O-ring or aluminum to aluminum. Rubberized gaskets, use a little aromatic sealer on them and they will always seal. So I ended up going with the Fel-Pro with they got that little silicone ring on them. I forget what number they are. It's the ones I always use, ones everybody uses. I don't see them here. They're here somewhere. But that's the gaskets I ended up going with. I tend to buy Fel-Pro gaskets almost for everything. And I have a reason why. And the main reason is, oh, okay. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. And I probably read it, yeah. Gotcha, Colin. Yeah, they, when I was in high school, you know, a lot of people get full ride scholarships for football and baseball and volleyball and that kind of stuff. I got one for automotive. It is what it is. And then Fel-Pro Gaskets then gave me another scholarship on top of my schooling and all that was paid for by General Motors. And I got an actual education degree out of it, the whole bit, just like if I was a sports athlete. And but Fel-Pro gave me actual cash money for that part of it to help me with housing and food and travel and what to spend as I wanted. So, and they gave it to me every single quarter. It was a pretty sizable chunk of money every single year for 2 years. So, yeah, so I'm kind of beholden to them for the last, even though I stopped being a mechanic at one point and just worked on my own hot rods, I'm still kind of beholden to them. And that's what we're working on right now, the 55 Chevy. Well, that's what we got going. And it's I'll kind of show you here. I'll walk you around. So what I got going here is, so the intake's gonna go on there. Kind of dark in here right now, but Somebody did a nice job on the heads. These are the old gaskets. One of them has been pulled over a little bit, but it's been, this intake's been on there probably for 20 years. So yeah, it's a nicely ported. This thing runs good with a set of Performer RPM heads on it. And somebody did a nice port. You can see the back one, how well it's ported. So they did a good job on them. And it runs like they did a good job on them. So, but I'm cleaning them all up. I'm going to run the dual plane again. I was going to switch out to a single plane. Oh, let's switch that around here. I was going to switch to a single plane, Victor Jr., and decided I'm going to go with the Performer RPM dual plane, and I am going to run the 1-inch spacer. I got the actual spacer, and it fits spot on. I am not going to, there's some juice on it from cleaning it all. So I have a bunch of spacers from over the years, but that's the one I'm going to run. It's weird, it's all discolored here a little bit, but that'll go to the back. So I'll put that on the front. But it's all smoothed out, looking good. Yeah, and this one's a no name. The other one I had before was an Edelbrock, and I port matched this. Hey, there he is. There he is. All right, so click on it. Report. There we go. There we go. All right. So I knew he would come up again, and he did. All right. That looks great. Okay, aluminum we got to there. Hey, there he is. The Three Cool Bikers. Hi. Again, so hey, me and Rob, both of us, and Marv, I'm sure, went on there, but a bunch of us went to look at your stuff, and we couldn't find the Three Cool Bikers. None of us could. So we tried to do it yesterday. As soon as I got off, and see, I still have my paper, Three Cool Bikers. So, yeah. I don't know how we can get a hold of you on there. And then, Colin, do you have a YouTube page also? You know, a channel? If you do, Colin, is it just under Colin, or what is it under? So, do you have our chrome, did you have your chrome replated, or did you replace it? If you had, okay, no. So this car, I didn't restore this car. This car has been with us for years and years and years, and have no idea who did the chrome on it. This car has been together since I met the guy that built the car in 1984. So he was in Cottonwood, California, not Idaho. And he did it, showed me the only spot of rust it had on, about the size of a quarter. It was right here in the back of the driver's side, right in front of the tire. There was a little bubble. And he said, there's a tiny little patch there where they cut it out. And he said, there's no other rust in this car, which I know. We've had it for a long time, and I've been all over this car, inside and out. So I know it's a rust-free car. And I thought it was 1,000,000% rust-free. He did say that when they repainted it back in '84, that they fixed that rust on there. So, but no other rust. I don't know about the chrome stuff. He never said, and I didn't ask him because it's just so spotless of a car. And he said it was a extremely clean car when he got it. And he bought it from the original owner, a couple that lived out in Cottonwood, California somewhere years and years ago. And then in '84, he tore it completely up, repainted it, interior, all that. So that's kind of where we are. It has a dealer ad chrome. So this is a 210. This is a Del Rey, 210 Del Rey. It's not a Bel Air, but it has this dealer added chrome at the bottom here, right over here. I don't know if you can see it there, but there it is. And then I'm going to put So these wheels have been on there since the 80s. They're the old, they're Kragers, but they're the Bob Glidden Kragers. You know, a drag type Krager, real lightweight and everything. And it works good because this car's been down the strip quite a bit. And I'm going to keep the wheels and tires, but I bought a set of Steelies over there. And as soon as I get this thing running, probably Monday, Tuesday, depends how long that intake takes me to clean up. I mean, you know, basically it's a bolt back together. And then I'm going to pop this thing in the air, and then we're going to test the Steelies, and then the stock caps, and I'm going to run a white lettered tire and give it a more of a 70s type look to it. Still going to be bigs in the back and the smalls in the front, but I'm going to do the 60 series tires with the light letters just to give it that look. So, and then Colin, definitely nice. It is a nice car. It was my dad's, who is still with us, but he gave it to me, and I've had it for a few years now. And if you go to my channel, there's a whole story about it and how this thing kind of come about and what transpired prior to this when I was 15 years old. In fact, I told my wife the story again today. She's heard it on here 100 times. She's heard it on my YouTube 100 times, and she heard it again today. So, and it's the same color car, and it looked just like a 55 Chevy two-door Post. That one had a Granny 230 6-cylinder in it with 3 on the tree. This one's got a 4,500 stall and wow, lots of horsepower under the hood. I don't know what the horsepower is. Never been on the dyno that I know of. Supposedly it had a roller cam in it. It doesn't. But it runs. You know, it's a high 11-second car. And yeah, it definitely gets with the program. It's got a Ford 9-inch in it. It's got 411s. We swapped that out, put 411s in it. Really made it come alive. At some point, I'll probably put electronic overdrive transmission in it. And Rob and I were talking earlier yesterday, I guess we were on here, and talking about gear vendor overdrives. I'm going to look into that when I get to that point because that's a pretty easy swap in, and the tranny works pretty good. After he said it yesterday, I was like, you know, I was kind of against it prior to him mentioning it. And after he talked about it a little bit, I thought, maybe I'll revisit it. I don't know if I will do it, but I will definitely revisit and think of it. But that's down the road. So I appreciate the old stuff. I'm restoring an International Harvester Cub Cadet 782. So I'm not sure what the Cub Cadet 872 is. That the smaller tractor? I have a steel 041 from the 80s that was never used. So I'm not sure what that is. That's not in my wheelhouse. Oh, it's a garden tractor. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. You know, a lot of those guys take them garden tractors. I have a little garden tractor here. And of course it had yellow and it had different colors on it. And it's just the Craftsman one. And of course I painted it black and red. I couldn't help myself. I had the red paint. Like, well, it's good black. So I went and buffed it all up, put a buffing wheel on it. And then all the plastic parts, I turned them all red because they were yellow and they were kind of faded and stuff. So I sanded them all down and painted it red. It looked good for a couple of years. Now it's just dirty. I don't even hardly mess with it. I just drive it and run it around here, you know, and we got, you know, a few acres. And so we got some big lawn, and now I have animals out on the pasture, so I don't have to mow any of those anymore. And yeah, that works out pretty well. So, and then Colin, again, did you have a YouTube channel? And then the 3 Cool Bikers, let us know. We couldn't find you, so. Mine doesn't have the plastic. Like the car, it's all metal. And what was it? A 782. I got to write this stuff down because then I get back in the house. Now I'm like, what were we talking about? 782. So I got to look to make sure I'm sure I've seen what you're talking about, but I can't bring it up on my brain right now. CADET. And see, that's what I'm going to do when I get the internet back out here. I can then pop that stuff right up. I don't have any videos on YouTube. Okay. Very cool. We're glad you joined us and are in here. And I try to go live quite a bit, and I do videos all the time. In fact, I have a video that's ready to go, and we were gone all day in Moscow. up there at the farmer's market working, and I didn't get it done. And it's going to be a longer video. I wanted to, I always review them. I watch them before I start editing them, and I don't edit much. I do that grandpa style videos where it's kind of like live. I just talk, and if I make a mistake, I go, hey, I made a mistake. There's some that I'll edit out, you know, if camera falls over, you know, if I'm like, oh, what was I going to think about next, you know, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I just let it roll. I think it's more sincere. Not bashing on over editing, not at all. You know, it's a talent, it's a skill, and people do like it. I just don't, it's just not my style, not my thing. You know, I'm a small shop guy here and got a little garage and work on, you know, my cars and my buddies' cars and things like that. And I do have a Blazer coming in here. It's going to be in here to work on a guy by the name of Ben Wade. I'm going to bring his Blazer up here and work on it. And I've already done a couple little things. I actually worked on his 72 Buick. It was it's a neat car, but it was definitely needing some love under the hood. Barely run. It was pretty rough. And we put a, you know, intake on it and painted up the valve covers, put a new carburetor on it, new distributor, put some chrome headers on it, one of the chrome ones, and they turned all blue. They're cool looking. And I cut the bracket on the alternator and cleaned it all up with a grinder and painted all that up. And it went from a marginal 1 or 2 to, I would say, a 9 or 10. It looks good under the hood. You pull the hood up and you're like, wow, that thing looks good. I had it for a couple months. The Blazer, not so much. I'm gonna have to get it back to him. But yeah, Ben's a friend of mine, and you may know him from the CBS show Survivor, Coach. I work on his cars for him. I'm what he calls his mechanic. And so yeah, I'm gonna work on that. You know, I got to get it up here and get it on my shop. We're gonna do a quick turnaround with it because he doesn't want to be without his vehicle. He has a couple vehicles, but it's the right time of year. It's not, you know, snowing and raining up there, and we're gonna pick her up and get her done. And yeah, it'll be kind of cool. I might do some video on it, and you know, we'll see. I got to get it for him so he can enjoy it. It's got a few little small issues that really need to be addressed. Yeah, so that's what we're kind of up against on that. And I still got the 52 I got to finish. But I do have to get the sprinklers on next week. So some of the car stuff, I want the 55 going again because it's always going. And yeah, so when car shows come, I can throw it on the trailer and we can go, you know, a couple towns over or states over, and we can at least have a car to go to the show. This is more of like it's kind of a weekend car. It's not really a show car by any means. Even though it's really nice, it's not really over the top. It's not anything that you go to these car shows and there's 55 Chevys. There ain't any blue ones like this for the most part, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of 55 Chevys, and yeah, it's just not a standout car. This car stands out amongst the 55s, but you know, 55 is kind of like Camaro. There's a lot of them. They're around pretty heavily. The car I'm going to work on here in the near future, once I get kind of some of these projects caught up, and the reason I sold my two-door wagon was to fund that project right there. That's a Pontiac Safari, kind of like Nomad, being the same Fisher body plant. That car is definitely going to be a standout. That's a different car. It's going to be on bags, and we're going to get it all done, and it'll be cool. But it's sitting on the side of the shop right now, just begging. It's got the motor here, the 6.0. It's got it's raining out there. Holy crap. Ooh, I might have to stay live for a little longer. It's getting wet. And then I have to that brings up another subject I'll talk to everybody about. That brings up cold break. So we're building a tap truck. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a tap truck, but it has taps on the side of it, and you go to weddings and, you know, events, parties, and you can put beer in it, you can put cold cocktails in it, you can do whatever you want with it. And we got with this company called Cold Break. Cold Break is a great company. Chris there, talked to him many, many, many times on what we're building. We're building a 60 Chevy truck, cattle truck. Ryder's gonna be gone picking up that vehicle, so he'll have to probably be 2 weeks out now. We're gonna build the latch for it. I gotta go down and grind that. I gotta get the sprinklers done between then though. But I'm gonna grind that so it'll flop over and it'll be like an awning. Taps are already lined up, ready to go. I have all the equipment here. I picked it up from Cold Break. Like I said, Cold Break is an awesome, awesome company. And what I want to say is everybody needs to go over, not to my channel, go to Cold Break. YouTube Cold Break. And they're spelled like this. Let me show you. I got a sign. Cold Break. It's backwards. So cross your eyes. And if you have dyslexia, which I know some of you do, it probably reads right. So, unlike my JJG on my hat, with it being backwards, it's kind of funny. But Cold Break, that's the name of the company. Go to their YouTube channel. And when you go onto the YouTube channel, there's going to be a few videos. And these videos are participants in a contest to win Cold Break's world largest 10-tap jockey box. And what you need to do is just go there and then look at the videos. There's a couple of them. Of course, I like mine the best. But, you know, if you like the other ones, hey, vote for them. You know, we want to win. If we don't win, is what it is. They're going off which videos they like, which is their most, you know, charismatic, funniest, you know, type things, and, you know, likes and views and all that stuff. But that's why what I'm telling you here, what I'm telling you is they're a great company. Go to them and look at all the videos. Look at mine, look at theirs, and then like the ones you like. If you like theirs better, great. If you like mine, even greater. So, yeah, it would be a good thing to go see them. And for them to give that away is pretty phenomenal, to be honest with you. That thing is, it's very expensive piece of equipment. And I don't know if you guys know what a jockey box is. So a home use guy is not going to have a 10-tap jockey box. But if you go to their website or go to their YouTube and then their website and all, that'll lead you all to it. They have some of these, so what a jockey box is, it's basically a stainless steel type ice chest, and they put like 50 foot of stainless steel coil in it, and then you throw ice in there, and it has a couple taps that are on the side of it, and you can, right there in your little man cave, your Jimmy James garage, you can do whatever, and then you put the kegs in there and keep the kegs in the shade or just out of the temperature, you know, as long as it's not in direct sunlight, you know, under 80 degree type thing. Just leave them, you know, in the shop or the backyard. And then when friends and family come over, you're ready to rock and roll. A bag of ice, boom, and you got full kegerators. You can have 2 of them. You can even buy the smaller kegs from them. I think they call them Craigs or something like that. Anyways, they explains it all on their website. I'm not just out of the, you know, they're not. I'm a customer, so that's the best way. I'm a customer of theirs, and I'm really impressed with their stuff. I've looked at a lot of this before I did it, and by far there's, you know, you don't know until you buy it. It all looks good. It all sounds good. It's all, and they all talk about how great theirs is. Well, of course, they talked about how good theirs was, just like everybody else. And I decided to go with them because it just seemed a little better to me. And when I got it, I was like, oh man, it's over the top nice. Even their box, even the cardboard box that came in, it says Cold Break on it, got all the decorations on it. And it wasn't overpriced. It wasn't like it was more money than anybody else. It was very competitively priced. I don't have another company side by side to compare it to, but I don't know where you beat it. They're nice units. So go to their little giveaway, and then look at all the videos and vote for the ones you like. Like I said, you're not going to make me mad if you vote for somebody else. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. I said we want to win, but the bottom line is I'm going to use this company anyways, and I'm using them now. Every time I call them, Chris answers the phone. I could probably call him now and say, hey, got a question with this. So yeah, Cold Break, YouTube. And then so I got Playboy Sika cab box, body line, show body line. Okay, so you must want to see, you're looking at me, right? No, my car, it's a 55 Chevy. So let me flip it around. Yeah, it's my 55. Got fender covers on it right now because we're doing some work on it. It's dirty, it needs to be cleaned. So there it is. I don't show the inside much, and not because I don't like it, but I just don't open the door much. But yeah, it's got very nice interior. It's in very good shape. And actually, it looks like it's kind of dirty right there, but that's just the light. If you move, it'll kind of go away. It's the light on there. It looks like a stripe every time I look on this on the camera. But yeah, it's a 55 Chevrolet. Yeah, there you go. It's got all the chrome strips in it, and yeah, it's nice. It's got my helmet there. Yeah, there you go. So that's what it looks like. The dash has never been repainted, so that's the original color of it all. And it's an original cashmere blue. That's the cashmere car. Cashmere, and it's kind of like an ivory white. I don't know if you can hear that, but the doors on this thing are pristine. I mean, this thing's as solid as a rock. It just like thunk. It's perfect. Really does. Oh yeah, there's my humidor. So there it is. Beautiful car. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got a couple cars. I didn't show you my not beautiful car. So this is the one we're going to work on here. As soon as this car gets back on the road, the tranny's sitting there, the engines are sitting over there. Oh, there's the cold brake box. See how nice those things are? But this is a 56 Pontiac Safari. And those are the steel wheels that are going to go on my 55 here. But that's supposed to be next. We'll see how next it becomes. The Steelies are really going to make the stand out even more. It will. Rob, that will definitely change the trajectory of the car. Oh, let me show you something. So when you go to car shows, these things stick on the inside of the windshield, and you hang your little placard on there. So I have a bunch of these too. And you don't have to stick them on there and then try to scrape it off with what do you call it? What do they call that? Razor blades. You don't have to mess with that. I don't know if the trunk is open or not. Man, this car is filthy. This car needs a bath. Nah, it's locked. But yeah, it's got the battery in the trunk, and the trunk's all done. It's got a mat and everything in there. It's pretty nice in there. But yeah, I think the steel wheels are going to definitely make it stand out. And so I test fitted the hubcaps. Let me show you, Rob. I don't know if I showed you or not yet, but let's take a look here. So these hubcaps work. I found a set with blue bow ties in them. Let me flip it around. So yeah, they're inside. So I found those caps with the blue bow tie, which is pretty cool. And if it doesn't look good blue and it likes like the chrome better, I can take some paint remover and remove it. But those are the caps that'll fit on there. And we'll see if I do a chrome beauty ring. I probably will, but I'm going to run them like this to start with. I may get and put a pinstripe on them, like they used to do. But that'll look better than the old Kragers. Those are the old Krager. So that's the Bob Glidden Krager, is what they call it. And everybody remembers Bob Glidden. He was a Ford guy. But I got a Ford 9-inch, so maybe that's why. And I do have to check the bolt pattern, because you know what? I've never, ever checked the bolt pattern on this thing. So we'll see. Let's see what we got here. So Colin, there is a saying in the gun collection world, never shooting a gun is like not screwing your wife, so she is good shape for her next husband. Hell with that. I'm wearing her out. All right, cool. I use my vehicles. This thing's been down the drag strip a lot. Definitely more than once. Hopefully we can get it on the strip this year. We got lots going on. The drag strip's about 3 hours from here. There's another one up in Spokane, which is a little less than 3 hours. I've never been by that one. I don't know what it is. So maybe it'll go up there. I don't know. Hopefully I can get away and do it one time this year to see what it performs like with that 1-inch spacer on there, and a little work on we have the X carburetor on it now. Since it's been out to the drag strip, it hadn't had that. So I'm going to run the 1-inch spacer. I'm going to port the manifold a little bit. The XP Holly. So there's a few changes to it that should. Will it go deep 11s? Yeah, who knows? Reddings, 700 feet, 650. So up here it might not because of the elevation, but and I don't know what that Firebird Raceway is in Boise, but it's got to be 2,500 or so. So if it gets to the 11s in that elevation, be pretty happy. I don't know what the one in Spokane is. It might be fairly low elevation up there, but I don't know. I've never checked the elevation actually. So yeah, it does run good. Prior, it run really good. We'll see what it runs like in the elevation, especially the new carburetor and a little work to the intake and going to the 1-inch spacer. I think it's going to do pretty well. So there's okay, the gun thing. Okay, yep. And then Rob, oh yeah. So, and then I also have a 60 Chevy truck that's going to be for the tap truck, and I have a 52 Chevy I've been working on. You can see all these on my channel. So, yep, I remember his Ford Pinto. Bob Glidden was a big dog when we were younger. That's for sure. He was the man. He was. That's when those Thunderbirds were real hot. My mom actually had a Thunderbird. She had a 84 T-Bird with all the leather and had the 302 in it. And it was a 4-wheel disc brake car. It was a neat car, and she bought it brand new. And it was she traded her Cadillac Seville in on it. So she had a 76 Cadillac Seville. What is that? 8 years old at that point. And, she'd had it for a long time, and it was a pretty nice car. And she didn't buy that Cadillac new, but she bought it probably in 77 or 8. It was probably a year or two old. But she'd had it a while, and she was just ready for a new car. And her Cadillac was nice. That Seville was really nice. It was like a dark silver and then a light silver with a couple pinstripes down the side to break it up. And it had the darker silver vinyl top. And yeah, it was a freaking nice car. It was a really nice car with all the leather and stuff. And then she went to the Thunderbird, with that real rounded body set. When that thing came out, it was setting all the records, NASCARs, and Bob Glidden switched to one. They all had them. That was a big thing, And they're sweet. I mean, they're a neat car. You still see them once in a while. I know that Finnegan, he was racing one there for a while, and yeah, they're cool. They're very cool. Yeah, Bob Glidden, I don't know, he's probably around, I'm guessing, but he's got to have some age to him now, I would think, because he was older then. So all right, I got my notes here. So anybody else have any other questions about what we got going here? And again, Colin, I don't know if you saw this, but I picked this up at an antique shop, like thrift store, to put my pipes on. That's pretty cool. It's out of the 40s or 50s, according to what I found. And it's pretty cool. Well, I think I'm getting kind of low here, so. I got a little more. But yeah, these pipes are really cool. This little stand. It's and then this one, sits there, so I got both my pipes on it. And of course, if I get a Peterson, put a Peterson on one. Anyways, that'll be the plan. So, yeah, these are all my notes I wrote for my video. I just talk about them, but yeah, how low do those Caltracs hang down? Like a traction bar, a little bit less. So the Caltrac bar, let me see if I can see it from here. Let me put this down here. So the Caltrac bar, there you go. So that gives you an idea. And this tire is big. This tire is a 275/60 Mickey Thompson. So it's fat in there. There ain't no room. It doesn't rub, but there isn't any room. So that's the cowl track. You can see the bottom bar goes and twists on it. And when it pushes forward, it hinges on that and then pushes down on the spring. But that's how low it is. It's not, I would say like a traction bar, maybe a little less because the bar's skinnier. And then also remember the bar it got hinge joints on it so you can adjust it. And what you do is you adjust it and I haven't had to adjust that one. This car booked straight. So my Nova, I had a 64 Chevy Nova and I had cowl tracks on it. And it would go a little sideways and I had to get in there and monkey with them a little bit. And then I got them where that thing hooked pretty straight. That car burnt the tires pretty hard. Even the cowl track bars, it went from chatter in the rear end but the cowl track bars held it solid, and then it gave it some good traction. That car actually runs in the 10s now. The guy I sold it to, I'm still friends with. He put a big motor in it, and that car may have gone 9s, but he says he goes, those cowl track bars work. I mean, they definitely work on it. They're cool. The cowl track bars are cool. So basically, you have the bottom plate. Let's say this is the rear end, and the bottom plate comes down, and then it has a rod that goes forward to it, and then where that eye bolt is, you put a solid bushing in there, and then there's a triangle. And so what it does is, as the rear end actually twists and tries to lift on itself, it pushes that bar forward, which pushes it down. Well, now what you've created is the spring that's held, because the springs tend to bow. And so when it's pushed down on top of the spring, it holds that bottom spring up, and this bar is actually solid. It can't go anywhere. So the rear end has to go one way, down. And that's what gives it the traction. So when you hit it, it just goes boom, and it pushes all the forces going straight down to it. It's pretty amazing how they work. A lot of guys do not switch out and go to 4-link because they're like, I just put cowl track bars on it, did the same thing. And then I got a little adjustment for it, and bada bing, bada boom, here they go. And they all run them. I mean, you go to the drag strip, and there ain't nobody running slapper bars, or they're running 4-link, or they're running cowl tracks. The guys that are out there a lot, So where I'm from, the best thing is to restore a 6-inch lift square body Chevy. That's kind of everywhere. Anything lowered here would be wrecked on the potholes. I think that's everywhere. And then, so what state are you in? So, here in Idaho, we have a mix here in Idaho. You go to Lewiston, there's a lot of hot rods, but there's a lot of square body Chevys running around too. And then Fords are big up here. You'll see a lot of those Fords, the old high boys and stuff. So Nebraska, okay, cool. You got lots of corn there, I hear. I mean, your college is named the Cornhuskers, so yeah, no, that's cool. I've never driven through Nebraska. I know I've flown over it, but I don't think I've never driven through it. So I've only flown over it. But I understand it's pretty cool. That's all we have. Hey, I'll take some because I'm feeding some cows here, and some corn-fed beef would be pretty good right now. So we have some steers we're finishing up. We're finishing up 3 of them. The one big guy is going, and he's been here for a while. He's going in June-ish, depending on our son owned a butcher shop. They own Heights Butcher Shop. And then, so when he gets slowed down a little bit, they slow in the summer. So once he slows a little bit, he's going to bring him in, and then we're going to sell him. So anybody's looking for a good-looking steer, he's big boy. He's big and healthy. He's been getting grain for a long time. He's been getting a lot of it. I know it's expensive. So, yeah, he's a good one. And then, let's see, the other 2 they're already spoken for. I'm taking one, and then my buddy Rod's taking the other one. And they're an Akaushi. They're a Japanese cattle. So they come from the Bar 46 ranch, where they raise these F1 crosses, and they have full bloods, and they have anything Japanese type stuff, and it's all based off the Akaushi, which is the red cow. If that's basically what it is. They look more like a beef steer, the black ones, the Tahajimas. They look like a dairy cow to me. They got kind of the big hips and the funny looking dairy cow heads. But the Akaushi, the red ones, they look more like beef. They're docile. They have the marbling on them is supposed to be like A5 type stuff, above prime. You know, if I get prime out of these, I'm going to be happy. From what I understand, if I get prime out of them, I should be disappointed because the genetics are there for them. I actually know the I don't know what you'd call the bull, the sire of the bull. His name's Buster, and he breeds a lot of Yakushi around here. He covers a lot of cattle. But the black one here, because they're F1s, he's a jumper like his dad. Buster was a jumper, and he's jumping our hot wire. He's going to the other field because we're trying to. We got with the USDA, and they were telling us what we need to do with our pastures is to break them down into strips. And this is not car stuff, but you know, interesting to learn. And to let our grass recover, get about 8 inches on it. I guess cows got to stick their tongue around, kind of wrap it to pull the grass. And what we were doing is we were letting them feed on the whole pasture, and they're running it all down to nothing. So now what they want us to do is they want us to break it up into these sections with hot wire, which we did. And so they eat a section out, which they ate the first section down. It doesn't look like it's recovering, I'll be honest with you. It looks like it hasn't grown much where it was ate down a couple weeks ago. Now they're on the second one, but we call him Mr. Black. Mr. Black jumps into the third one that we're going to go to next. He's only one over there, but so we have to kick him out every day. He's not eating that much of it, so it'll be fine. But yeah, so then once this number 2 field's down, it's all in the same pasture. We're going to move the wire out so they can still get to the water. And let me take that back. This will be their third one because they were up top first. They were up top, and we were bringing water up there. And then, hose. And then they ate all that down, and then we brought in hay for them, and then we were feeding them grain up there. They ate all that down. And then we opened the alleyway up, so they got the alleyway and the first paddock area. And then now they're on the second one by the water, and then we're going to finish on the third one. And then hopefully the other 2 have recovered by then. So that's the overall plan of this. I'm going to light the red one up. So we'll see what that one is. So that's man, that black cherry smells good. So again, Colin, if I mess this up, you let me know. So what I was told to do is put it in the bag and then do a little baby pack, you know, real light. And then do like a mom pack, a little heavier. And then do the big boy pack. And then really give it a good tamp. Let it go down. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. That's what I got off YouTube. Like and subscribe, which I don't like to do that anymore. I'm over saying like and subscribe. And then so there we go. This one definitely burns more on the tongue. Fill, then pack, okay. 3 times usually ends up being the right amount. So that's what I did. I filled it 3 times, and I did it kind of really light. And then I put a little bit more, and I just packed a hair, and then the last one I packed it down. But it seemed to, well, it went out on me. Too busy talking. So you fill it and then pack it all. Is that what you're saying? See, this one already bite my tongue. So let me know. But this is nice in your hand. I mean, it's comfortable. That's for sure. It's a neat, for a $50 pipe, it's kind of cool. Doesn't have any glue in it or any of that stuff. So it's all right. From what I know. And I noticed the ones my father-in-law had, They had filters in them. This one doesn't have any filters in it, so. So we'll go through this one here while we're sitting here, and well, that's what we get with the beef. So let's see, save James back and knees can't pain. I forgot about that. There we go. See, I had to kind of bend over there and show you the CalTrack bars. So what Rob's talking about here is Save Jimmy's Knees and Back campaign. We're shooting for a lift here. We're trying to put a lift in. That's why I've been doing these lives, trying to get as much as I can. And I'm going to put my proceeds to a lift. I need a lift in here because I got a bad knee, really bad. I need a replacement. And it's tough on this concrete and this old guy. And so Rob donated. He always puts out there, match my $5 donation to get him a lift. And he's contacted a few companies. I had a company contact me. I have not heard back from them yet. We'll see if they're interested. I sure would show their stuff off a lot. And we will go from there. So Colin, you said yes. Then light it. Use a match or a Zippo. Just tap the flame into the bowl a few times to keep from overheating it. Okay. Tap it 2 or 3 times in the first minute of puffing. Okay. There we go. And I got an actual tamping tool, also a little scoop and all that. I just used the bullet. I thought the casing I thought was better, I thought it was cool. Okay, and then it says, I got something in my mouth. After tamping, immediately puff on it to keep it going. After a few minutes getting it going, you should be able to have 5 minutes between puffs without it going out. Wow, okay, I'm using my thumb to tamp. Boop, boop. So you got to puff it while you tamp it. All right. Yeah, this one has a little bite to it. So I better use a better tobacco is what you're saying there, Colin. You're smoking too hot. Slow it down. Okay. I called the lift company again, Jimmy. All right, cool. What'd they say? Which car you like to own if you have money AF? It would be a 56 Nomad or a 41 Willys. All right, we'll leave it kind of slow here. So 41 Willys, love them. I'm a Corvette guy, so it would have to be a Corvette in there somewhere. I say I'm a Corvette guy. I don't own one right now, and I haven't owned one in a few years. Oh, but it does. It's idling right along, so. Okay. Okay, very cool. That's probably why I burned through that other one so quickly. So thanks for the tip there, Colin. I'll probably forget. You'll have to remind me again, like, hey, dude, what are you doing? So yeah, Rob, let me know what they said. And then for the car, if I had the money, I'd have them all, to be honest with you. I left voicemail to check out your channel. Was it the same company we've been talking to? Does your pipe have a condenser, filter, or a balsa wood wick? So it has nothing. It's that. It got nothing. Nada. I only use balsa wood wicks. Okay, I don't even know what that is. Let's see. FR says, my grandfather owns a Oldsmobile F88. That's cool. You don't see many of those. That's pretty cool. Yes, same one. All right. So I think they're onto it. I hope they jump on board and help me out here. That'd be awesome. Because I'll have it out here every day. Every day. And I still got to get a hold of you. I have your hat off to the side. So I'll text you later on and make sure you get that going your way. For everybody out there, this is backwards because of the camera, but it's an old gasser sign and it's JJG for gas. Jimmy James Garage or, J class gas. Okay, so balsa wood will dry it up and reduce the tongue bite. So how do I know to buy this stuff or where do I buy it? So balsa wood, between looking at the Cub Cadet 782 and the pipes and the Vaughns and the White Dot and the Dunhill, and man, you got all sorts of stuff. So balsa wood. Balsa wood. Wick. Okay, so yeah, now that I've slowed it down a little bit, it's not biting me. Probably because I was heating it up. I'm learning. I'm brand new at this. I don't have any problem telling you how to work on your car because I've done a million of them. But this, brand new. Brand new. I like it. It's cool. Plus, I went from an 84 IQ. I took it before, and I'm at like an 89. So this thing, moved me up 5 IQ points. And then it says FR Protox, but my dad sell it out. Oh, that's a bummer. We all sell it, we've all been there, done that. I'm going to have to get a pipe and get rid of my Copenhagen. So, Rob, I'm telling you, I never smoked cigarettes, I did a couple cigars, but for the most part, I never smoked a bunch of cigars. No weed, no white stuff, none of that stuff. And, that day we did a couple weeks ago, we smoked that. And my wife and I were out on the back patio looking over the prairie here and going, man, this thing is kind of relaxing. We almost didn't say any words. We just kind of sat there and chilled with it. And it was like pretty good. My wife actually, I said, I'm going to go out and just look at my car parts here and just kind of chill. And she goes, well, why don't you go live while you're out there? It's a Saturday. See if there's people out there who want to talk about car stuff or about the pipe or whatever they got going. And I said, yeah. And I finally called her back. Oh, I'm going to come in the house in a little while and I'm going to smoke a pipe here and kind of chill. And I'm glad I did because now I got to learn all about this stuff. But yeah, Rob, I'm telling you, it's pretty freaking cool. It's like, and I don't feel like I have to do it every night. I didn't smoke one all last week. So I smoked yesterday and I smoked today just because I was out here. So, and when you do the aromatics, what I understand is, I guess the nicotine's not as high from what I get. And I understand that it's not, you're not inhaling it and all that stuff. So it's just fun to talk about and kind of hold and, and clench it. And I understand you're not supposed to do a lot of talking when you have these things, just to relax, just to kind of chill out. So I don't know what millimeter this pipe is. It's pretty big. My father-in-law has these other little, these German pipes he has with all the carvings on them and stuff. They're old pipes. And his filters fit in there real well. They're like way big in this thing. I went to put them in there and I'm like, oh, doesn't fit. So I just went without it. And Vaughn, who's the guy that runs the smoke shop, who's a cool dude. He's like, dude, go hardcore. You don't need a filter. You'll get used to it. He described himself as a 420 guy. He says, I'm a 420 guy, but I've been smoking some of these pipes, and he's a good dude. He's a great guy. I hope he's watching. So he got one of my little trinkets. I don't know if you guys seen these, but Rob's seen them. But I don't know if the rest of you guys have. But when I run into people, I carry them in my pocket. And they're, so they say Jimmy James Garage on them. And then they have my Jimmy James BBQ at yahoo.com. That's my email. And then so when I give it to them, I see them and they go, oh, and I've had people recognize me because it's not that, but it's not that I'm famous, but being on YouTube, car guys, I'll watch this stuff. A lot of people see me, recognize, I wear this hat now everywhere, kind of recognizable. And they go, oh, you're the YouTube guy. You've been on that YouTube channel. I go, here you go. And so what it does is they put it in their pocket. And then when they get home, they're like, hey, what is this cool thing? And they put it on their finger and they're like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. And I just didn't want a business card or, hey, go to my channel, type thing. So I give it to them. It's kind of cool. They can throw it in their toolbox or, do whatever they want with it. Just kind of fun. It comes from all the duck hunting I did. And when you hunt ducks and you get a banded bird, that's what these are. They're just bands from the birds that I had engraved and had done. I called the company that did them and had them shoot them to me. And I got the green ones and I got some red ones. So let's get back to what people are saying here. So mine are I don't even know how to say that, Savanilli. And I think they are perfect fit in the Vaughn pipes. I think mine's a 9mm. I don't know if I'm pronouncing all this right. Cigars is hecka cool. It's always a good chill. It is, and I just thought the pipe was a little different. And when we tried those, I was like, hey, I'm going to try that. Bought a couple and bada bing, bada boom. Here we are. Previously Dunhill. Now Peterson. Nightcap is very high in nicotine. Okay. It will give me a buzz. And I smoke 2 packs of hand rolled a day. If you try that, then smoke it easy. Okay, so what I did was, great story. When I went to this, because we're on the reservation basically. Half my property's on the res and half is not. Kind of interesting, but it's the Nez Perce Indian tribe. Sacagawea, coming down Lewis and Clark. Anyways, giant reservation. We're on the very edge of it. And I own the property. It's just they govern some of the airwaves, that kind of stuff. But when I'm in the shop here, I'm in the county. This is a county property. So we got these pipes. Wanted to smoke them. I didn't know anything about it. Zero. So I went into their smoke shop there. It's a gas station. They have a big smoke shop area. And I asked these 2 young kids, I said, hey, explain to them, man, I got these pipes. And he says, oh, I got the perfect stuff. And he pulled out this bag. And it's like this big 1-gallon Ziploc bag, but it wasn't. It was a sealed bag, and it's red, and it said, pipe tobacco on it or some stuff. And the guy says, this is the stuff here. Everybody buys it. I said, most popular? He goes, oh, we got this gold brand, blah, blah, blah. You want this. All right. We took it and we lit those things up. And obviously you see we don't know what we're doing. We're lighting them. We're full on, puffing away on these things. Mind you, I don't smoke and have never smoked. Never even smoked a cigarette, never smoked a joint. And so we smoked that thing. And I'm like, this thing smells like old cigarettes. Like when they're kids and they used to smoke in the restaurants, And I'm like, I don't think this is pipe tobacco. And it looked kind of ratty, but I don't know. I don't know. And I go, I remember people smoking a pipe as a kid, and it didn't smell like this. And I'm like, huh. And we smoked through them all, and I took the second thing and I smoked through that one. My tongue was on fire and my mouth is burning. My wife's like, oh, my tongue. And golly, I don't know if we're pipe smokers. But to be honest with you, we sat there and we were like, this is kind of chill. I like the experience, but I don't think this is the right tobacco. And the pipe was so hot, you could hardly touch it. Like this is cool. And I'm like, this pipe's hot. So anyways, I go, oh man, I'm dizzy. There's something wrong. I felt like I was kind of floating a little bit. And I go, I don't think I can get up. In fact, I think I'm going to puke. And she starts laughing. She's like, you okay? Like, I don't think I am. I go, I'm going to sit here for about 10 minutes. So I sat there for a few minutes in the cool air and finally got up. And then once I walked around and got something to drink, I was good. But I was pretty messed up on that stuff. And I go, that cannot be right. So then I found this place in Lewiston with Vance down there, and I told him the same story. And he's like, come here, newbie. Let me show you the stuff you need to buy. And then you can experiment from there. But start here, get one of these. Well, he actually sold me this one. He said it's a nice, easy to smoke, got a big bowl. He goes, not a lot. It'll be good for you. You'll like this one, which I do. Try to use the same kind of tobacco in it, and kind of gave me some pointers and some tips and gave me some matches and said, try the lighter for now. You're not using anything high dollar, blah, 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 And so, man, it's really raining out there, by the way. And so the rest is history. Now Colin's educating me, telling me how to do it. But yeah, Rob, I think you should try one. I think you'd like it. Go to a reputable smoke type place, or what Colin's been writing here. Obviously he knows, and I would start out at that level. I think you might like it. What does it hurt? Let's see here. The first time smokers turn green quickly with the nightcap. Yeah, I turned green all right. I was pretty rough there for a few minutes, and then I was like, okay, some good deep clean air breaths, and got up and walked around, and I was all right. But I was contemplating puking. Let's see. If I will own a cigar, I would definitely choose the Portargus. So I don't own a cigar. I don't know anything about cigars. Like I said, I've had a couple of them Black and Milds and some Swisher Sweets and that kind of stuff. And I've smoked a couple of good cigars from a buddy of mine, and they were smooth and nice. And I thought, oh, these aren't bad, but just wasn't really my thing. So they were expensive, and I thought, God, if I smoke one of these today, I might go broke. That's one thing I noticed about the pipe tobacco. It's not super expensive for the amount you smoke it. It's not cheap, but and I think you can kind of go up and down in price. Obviously, there's hundreds of dollars a pipe, $1,000 price probably. So, and again, Colin, thanks for all the tips on this. I got all this stuff written down. I hope I remember it and keep doing it right. And like you said, I'm gonna work on that tamping thing and let it see if I can slow it down a little bit. So, so what's that pipe called? So this one is called. It's the MYON. So I guess it's a French pipe from France, MYON. They run $40, $50, somewhere in there, depending. And they have a bunch of different styles, and like the same company, and they're totally different. So that's the differences in them. You can get them straight. You can get them kind of dipped down. You can get them like Sherlock Holmes, kind of anything. There's a lot to it. It's amazing how much. I just thought it was a pipe, put some tobacco and smoke it. No, that's a fact. That's not what it's all about. There's definitely more to it than that. I like it, Like I said, I think, like Colin said, when you step up to a really good pipe, it's probably going to get better. Those pipes I sent you, I bought, I think some of those were of some of the names he said. I'm not positive. I'd have to look of what they were. My buddy Donnie said they're a good quality pipe. He is a pipe smoker, and he said they're good ones. So, and there's 10 of them. So we'll see what they turn out like. And then, where do you live, sir? So I live in Idaho, north central Idaho, Cottonwood, Idaho. If you're familiar with Idaho, we're right in the middle of the state. Come north out of Boise, heading towards Moscow and Coeur d'Alene. We're kind of between Coeur d'Alene and in Boise, right on the Washington-Oregon border. The Snake River is just right over the hill. Let's see here. Peterson's early morning pipe is a nice tobacco for all day. It's very mild. Okay. And then 223 DMR. Jimmy, what's up, man? What's up? How are you? We're just, we're trying to educate ourselves on pipe. Of course, we got the 55 in the background, and I'm fixing the intake on it and just finishing up here. I did some cleanup, and I had a long day working, and so we're just kind of hanging out and finishing up and going from there. And then Colin, jumped on here and was telling us about pipes, telling Rob and I about pipes, and some other guys that are in here, old FR, and there's a few of them. So appreciate you guys being in here and doing that. And then let's see, try the Savanti balsa wood filters. Use a new one each bowl, or even halfway swap it into new ones. They dry the smoke and make it much more enjoyable smoke. Okay. All right. We'll have to. Great tips, Colin. Thank you so much. Yep, Rob. Yeah, it's cool. So, yeah, as we learn, that's why I'm liking it, because I can learn something, That's why I do this channel, is I get to learn, even on my car. I think I know everything, and then all of a sudden somebody pops up with something. It's like, I read it and I go, oh, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, so, yeah, that's cool. So we appreciate that, Colin. You're a wealth of knowledge, that's for sure, and that's very great. It's awesome. Let's see here. I think I got them all covered so far. Yep, tap that thing and make those likes and those hearts and all that. That helps the channel out a bunch. It helps it out a ton. And then we're still moving forward on the 55. I got a couple companies I'm working with on the channel, and hopefully the Save Jimmy's Knees and Back campaign starts panning out. So, being this man, I hate gasoline, so I don't have any tips on the car. LOL. That's okay. I'm not much of a diesel guy myself. So I owned one before, and I owned two of them actually. Three of them. I've had 3 diesels. So 3. Yep, I've had 3. I don't think I've had any more than that. Can't think of anything else I've had that's diesel. So 3 of them. So I've had 3 diesels. One technically wasn't mine, but I had it for a while. It was a work type thing, but it was mine. I took care of it. So I ended up selling it for the guy. So it was, all intents and purposes, it was mine. I was using it for 6 months or a year. Long story on that, but it was the 7.3. And then, yeah, I'm not a big diesel guy. I don't have a use for one. That's one reason I'm not a big diesel guy. And I love these guys running around with these freaking, 3500s or F350s, or whatever you want to call them, 1-ton type trucks, dualies, with these big giant, huge big exhaust on them, rolling coal out of them, and big fan belts on their big chrome wheels, and they don't tow anything. It's like, you must love oil changes and fuel filter changes and maintenance, because that's all those things are. People got a diesel and they're like, oh, I got a diesel. Oh, enjoy your maintenance. I don't hate them. Not at all. They have a use. I just don't have a use for them. And most of the guys that own them don't have a use for them. They get away with an F-150. It just makes me laugh, some of these trucks I see. I'm like, dude, really? It isn't like it's some kind of rocket ship and you're drag racing it and doing all that. They just drive around with lights under them, and I don't know. I don't want to make too much of a thing of it, because a lot of those guys are the future of the cars. But they don't really have a house and they don't have a lot going on, but they got a freaking cool truck. I just never did a diesel. Don't need it. It would be nice some days to have a diesel and have an 8-foot bed. I'm not gonna lie to you, to be able to haul things in them, because they're pretty cool for that stuff. But for my day to day, I drive a Tundra. I drive a Toyota Tundra. I wish I had an 8-foot bed though. I hate the baby beds. I hate it right now. So I do use my truck a lot. I almost have something in the bed all the time. We use that truck. I use a pickup truck just constantly. But all I tow is this. I don't have any big hauling stuff, and I got a car trailer, and I got a trailer for my side-by-side. So me to get one of them Rams with the Cummins in it, or the Power Stroke or the Duramax or whatever, it would just be a waste for me. But to each his own. That's the good thing about where we live. You can be your own guy, and I appreciate that stuff. I really do. So, let's see. My 2-liter diesel has a 287 FBTBS, torque. The truck I drive has, for a few months, a year, has a 2050. I'm not into horsepower. Low end torque is where it's at. I am a small fleet mechanic. I work on 25 semi-trucks. Oh, wow. That's a lot. My daily driver is the VW 2-liter diesel or the 93 Chevy 350 on propane. So, yeah, those are cool. I knew a guy that had one of those VWs with the diesel on it. I think got like 52 miles a gallon or something crazy. So, at the time, I had a convertible SS Camaro, and he was talking about it, and we worked together. And he was talking about his diesel, and then we both got on the freeway together, and he was out in front of me. And so I had the cats off it and had a bunch of stuff on this Camaro. It was a newer Camaro and an LS. And I went by him at about 115 miles an hour. And the next day at work, I says, hey, you get 52 miles a gallon. Can you do that? Oh, you're a madman. You have the top down and everything. Oh, yeah. The hot rod guy. And he laughed, and it was pretty funny because he was, and it was cool because he used to talk about and he was really happy with his diesel. And it got great mileage. He drove the crap out of it. It was a neat little vehicle with that little turbo, what were they, 2-liter? Yeah, 2-liter. That was the one he had. So, hey, look at that. That works on my pipe. I could actually, there we go. Look at that, huh? That's kind of cool. Yeah, I got a new I got jewelry on it. My dad still has the 97 30th anniversary Camaro. It's fun, but not practical. That's a fact, Jack. Yeah, that's cool. They're cool cars. I've had quite a few of them. My first Camaro, the newer bike, I had a 67 RSSS, Rob knows, 4-speed car. I had that for a little while. But my first newer one that I was driving, well, no, I had the IROC first. So I had the IROC convertible. And that was, I want to say 87 or 8. But then I switched to the first SS one was the 96 SLP car. And it had the big scoop on it, had the big wing on the back. And I put 17-inch wheels. It had come with 16s, and I upgraded to the 17s. The convertibles come with 16s for some reason. I swapped out and put the SS 17s on it. The SS wheels, the 5-spoke wheels. Did a little work to it. And I drove the crap out of that car a long time. I drove that. And then I bumped it up to the SS with the LS in it. And it was full of power. In fact, when I bought it down in Ventura, California. And me and my son, Ryder, who's always on my channel a lot, and he was a little kid. And him and I went down to Ventura. I rented a car. I drove down to Bakersfield, met a buddy of mine. And we went over to Ventura in his Camaro. And we buy this from the lady, and she's like, I've had this thing since brand new. And she goes, it's fast, and it's this, and it's that. She goes, but I'll be honest with you, it's weird. It doesn't do a burnout. It starts to burn the tires, and then it stops, and it shuts, and it does it. She goes, I don't know if there's something wrong with it. It's always done it. She goes, but I don't do that kind of stuff. My friends have kind of coaxed me into it, blah, blah, blah. And she's a little older lady, not old by no means, but, she wasn't like 20. She was probably 45 or 50. And so she says, she was telling us all about it, and she was very honest with it, And so I get in the car and we drive it, and I look over and there's traction control, and I'm like, I bet she never pushed that button. So I said, you mind if I jump on it? She said, oh, go ahead. And I jump on it, and of course it cuts out. She goes, see, that's what it does. She goes, it has a rev limiter, I was told. I'm like, oh, okay. Very cool. So I bought it. We went up, and her house is by an industrial area. So we drove out of her house and drove a block over, and there was a little industrial park, and it was a Saturday, and we went over there, and me and my buddy, and Ryder's in the passenger seat, my son, and I says, I bet you I could burn the tires. And I hit the button, and it had a dash mat on. You remember those dash mats I put on? And I freaking hit that thing, and it was smoking the tires completely sideways, and the dash mat come up, hit him and I in the face. So I'm trying to get the dash mat out as I am just torching the tires. And I had the car literally 5 minutes, and I was laying smoke down, and I had to go back and look at my burnout patch because it was a country mile long. And my buddy Joe was like, now that's a burnout. I go, yeah, that thing burns them out pretty good. So really, really, really fun car. And then I ended up selling, a guy in Texas bought it off eBay. So Let's see here. What do we got here? I'm following behind telling stories. So ASR. All right, all right. And then Anthony Quick. Rather have a big block over a diesel any day, cheaper, easy to work in, and plenty of torque and horsepower. We're gonna get diesels versus gas. Here we go. Got a 91-ton Chevy with a 454 in it, Banks turbo pack, intake header, stage 2 cam. Might not get the MPG, but on the 10 days a year I need to haul or tow something, it's ready with not $600 a month payment. LOL. Turbo 400, shift kit, simple as hell to work on. That's, all that's true stuff. Let's see, Anthony, cheap and easier to work on, depends on your local parts store and your experience. For me, it's easier to work on a diesel. So I think they both had their place. I did have a 502 when those things come out. It was easy 502. I put an El Camino, and it was a fun car. And I was a big block guy for a while. I've now switched back to small blocks. And actually, I'm kind of an LS guy. So, yeah, they make a lot of power with them LSs, that's for sure. But I don't think it's fun to have debates about them all. I do think everybody enjoys their own stuff, and I appreciate that. I really do. I do. But I've seen Volkswagens embarrass big block Chevys. But I've seen a lot of big blocks embarrass a lot of people. So I mean, it's just kind of is what it is and what you're used to. And I think that's right. One guy's used to working on the diesels because that's what he does, and he knows them in and out. And the other guy likes the gas engine. So I get it. Makes sense to me. That's one thing about this 55 here. When we talk torque, this thing's got freaking torque, and it's a small block. It's got a gang of torque. It's probably the torqueiest small block I've ever owned. I had a 377 before with 11-to-1s and ported fast burn heads on it and big giant roller and all that, and it had a lot of power. It dynoed at 520, so it definitely was stout. But torque-wise, this thing runs 1.6 60-foot times on street tires. So it definitely gets with the program out down low. It's fun on the street with the 411 and stuff and all the traction. It'll definitely slam you in the back of the seat. But it does lay down a little bit on top. That's why I'm hoping that 1-inch spacer gives me a little bit more mile an hour, a little bit more oomph on top, because that's where it's lacking. It doesn't lay down. I'm not saying it lays down, because I've had cars that, they run pretty good hard and then they just fall over. This one doesn't lay down. It just kind of doesn't go. It just kind of it lays over, but it doesn't lay over. It just kind of, I would say, more lets off a little bit. In the power, when you get up to around 75, 80 miles an hour, you can kind of feel it just doesn't have it there. When it just starts right in the horsepower range, right when you started taking over from torque to horsepower, and it should keep climbing, it just doesn't. And a lot of it's probably because it is a small block. It doesn't have big block torque, but yeah, no, it runs good. It definitely is out of the hole. It's a hard one to beat. I always tell everybody it's Volkswagen fast. 60 foot, it's hard to beat. Let's see. Colin, Anthony, cheaper and easier work. Okay, there you go. I already called that one out. Let's see here. Colin, my car was 225 foot-pounds of torque with a simple computer mod. It is a 287 foot-pounds. Wow, that's pretty good. Gotta love LS line. Got a 5.3 and a daily 1500 now. With all the money, I'd been the 12 valve Cummins, swap, Chevy ride, Cummins, 1,000, 100,000, a million miles, okay. Capability, just not my expertise. Yeah, mine isn't much in diesels. I actually built a diesel back in 87. I actually built one and built it for power, and it run good. And when you put propane to a diesel, they really run good. My name is Chevy on propane, yep. I made a custom tune. I advanced the timing to full advance, 2,000 RPM because propane, 103 to 110 octane. The Chevy TBI is ridiculous torque for a small block. Anthony, just like Colin. So, yeah, so of all things, I built a 6.2 Chevy diesel when I was working as a mechanic and worked in a dealership. Truck come in, square body, 84 Chevy with a 6.2 in it, 700 R4, you know, typical Chevy 4-wheel drive. And it was a dog. It got 25 miles a gallon. I think it was freaking unreal. When I got done with it, it was getting around 20. But when I first got it, it was 22 to 25 almost all the time. The thing was just outrageously well. And then Reading Fuel Injection built me a pump. I told them what I wanted to do. Those things, the 6.2s have, their industrial trucks have bigger heads on them. They got bigger valves, they got bigger port, they got everything bigger. And we had one at the dealership that broke a crank. And so we had all the parts sitting there. And I went to the sales manager at the time, and she sold them to me for nothing, $100 or something. So whatever it was. I think I worked it off, but whatever. So I grabbed this intake and these heads, and I swapped them onto my 6.2. We took a set of big block Chevy headers, cut them up, welded them up, put headers on it, and I put glass packs at the time, and I reversed them. So the little baffles went the other way, and turned the turnouts right out in front of the rear end, right in front of the tire. And then I put an H pipe in it at the time, and it was 3 on each side, so I had 3-inch exhaust on it. They turned the pump way up on it. What else did they do to that thing? Just the heads, you know, I ported them. Just everything a Chevy guy would do to a small block, I did to a diesel. That thing frickin' run. That thing really run. It would outrun all the Fords of the time. It'd outrun everybody. And then the Cummins come out, and a buddy of mine was a sales guy over there and said, "We've got this new two-wheel drive Cummins right here on the showroom floor, and you ought to get in this thing." And I said, my truck will kick that thing's butt too. And he said, "Really, huh? You think so?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Yeah, it wasn't much of a race. We lined up, and I went out in front of him about a truck length, and I thought, it's over. That's how it's going to end. I'm just going to keep going away from him. And that's where it ended right there, because he went by me like I shut it off. As soon as that turbo thing's spinning up, it was over. It was a done deal. So my reign of terror for a year or so was beat by the old 6-cylinder Cummins. And then, you know, those Cummins were kind of king of the hill for a while. So being a low end torque guy, I hate when GM went to the Vortec being a high revving, high horsepower engine. You know, I had a set of Vortec heads on a Blazer, and it did. You had to spin that thing. Those things, they perform pretty well when you start spinning them. But the LSs, they have a lot of power everywhere. They're kind of a neat motor. I've been into a couple. In fact, I have 2 here in the shop. 2 LSs. I got a 6.0 and a 5.3. And they're not really LS, but LS based. And yeah, with the 6-bolt type mains, with the side skirts on them, and you know, the good cranks and the full roller and the cathedral port heads on them, and they're set up really well to spend all that kind of money on a small block, and you can buy them for $500, a good one. You know, I'm into this 6.0 I hear. I'm probably not into any money because I bought the truck and part of the truck out. So, yeah, they're kind of hard to beat because they get all the stuff. You get everything in them that you would do. And then a cam swap's dirt cheap. They're putting a turbo on them. Richard Holdner's doing the turbo on them all the time. He sells them. And man, they're impressive. They're freaking impressive. They're 1,000 horsepower. Very, very hard to beat. They're ugly. I'm not a big fan of the looks of them. We were calling them the ugly engines actually on here. There's a couple guys that are always on my channel who goes, "Hey, you got an ugly engine." My dad does not have an ugly one. He has a 5.3 in it. Let's see, am I falling behind here? Our game said hi. Hello, what's up? Glad you could join us. Yeah, so what we did with his, we jerked the injection off, and then we put a carburetor on it. We put a single plane Holly on there, and a one of those AVS Edelbrocks with the Endurashine on it, and put a real nice K&N type air, kind of an oval air filter cleaner on it, and we painted the valve covers red and with all the aluminum, and polished the flat parts, the aluminum part of the head, put some nice serpentine brackets on it, and it's sharp looking. He has the red coils on it, has the MSD box to run it. It looks good. It's really, really nice looking. So From Cottonwood, by the way, your local post office clerk. LOL. That's cool. I know exactly who that is. Very, very good. But her name is not Anthony. Hey, only the cool kids live in Cottonwood. That's all I know. Yeah, very good. She's a very nice person. That's very cool. So hopefully everybody knows where the cool kids live now. Yep, so I'm just out here doing my thing, not the postmaster, just the clerk. Okay, all right, oh yeah, okay. I know you are now. Got it? Got it. Very good. Oh, and I skipped calling. When I was 17, I put a 83 block into the 89 truck. I used the 89 heads, TBI. Did not realize at the time that I built about a 12-to-1 engine. I've done that. It would run like hell as long as I used premium. Yeah, I had a 12.5-to-1 and I put it together in a 327. And I put those fuelie heads on it. They actually were 62 cc's. And then I decked them. They were probably at 60 and big giant pop-up pistons. We clayed it all and it fit and it was fine. And it rattled like you wouldn't believe. And we kind of guessed it at about 12.5. So yeah, but it run good. With solid lifter cam, it run really good. But I've been down that road. Yeah, so Anthony, how are you? Hope everything's good. I just kind of come on the live here, and I was up at Moscow at the farmer's market helping a real close friend of mine. He sells dog treats and a big cattle guy and does all that regenerative type farming. And his dog treats are just one ingredient, no stuff. And so we're on our feet all day up there, and I had a video to download, and I'm working on my hot rod and working on my stuff. And I don't know, I just said, I'm going to puff on a pipe here. And since I'm new to this, and I am going to go live and see who's out there and see what was going on and talk cars. And Colin ended up telling us all about pipe stuff and what tobaccos and what not to do and what to do. And I got this little thing up there and that holds the pipes. I bought that up in Colfax 2 days ago on the way back from Spokane. And yeah, so we're just hanging out here in the shop, and it's raining out, so I'm gonna have to run back in the house because I'm kind of sweet and I melt when I get wet. Yeah, that's it. So yes, glad you could join us, and thanks for all your help at the post office. It's always been good, and I really appreciate you guys, hard working in there. And I know it ain't easy when things don't show up. Everybody blames the post office people. So you guys have been awesome. In fact, my wife had a shovel for a chicken coop. It was like a scraper shovel, and it went to a P.O. box, not to our address, and had the same number. And our delivery guy here, he called her and he told her all about how it went down, and was real helpful. And golly, you gotta love these small towns with great people in them that help you out. It's awesome. It's really cool. I don't think I ever had the post office call me, ever. And they call and saying, hey, here's what happened, here's what's going on, here's what we need to do to fix it. And it was cool. It was very impressive. So all these people that are watching out here, if your post office people don't do it, mine does. Our people are good. And we appreciate that. I really want to say thank you for that, because it's nice, it's nice that you guys work hard, and sometimes, you don't get the thanks, and I want to say thank you, because we do notice it, and we do appreciate it. And I'm waiting for my car parts. You need a low-ball glass of bourbon to go with your pipe. So I do have lots of bourbon. In fact, I even have my own. My kids got this for me. Hold on. I know I'm not on camera right now. I don't know if I have a glass out here, otherwise I'd take a swig of it. But they got me one of these, and it's got bourbon in it. Kind of cool. So it's got all my Jimmy James stuff on it, and you crack the cap, and there we go. But yeah, I do. I should have brought a glass out here, but I didn't bring one. So this was not a planned event. This was just coming out here to work on the car, and I flipped it on there. So let's see here. Anthony, thank you. It means a lot. Me too. Got to do a water pump tomorrow and some oil changes, getting the shop cleaned and ready. LOL. Yeah, my shop's a freaking mess. It was cleaned up, and I had my son here. He was living here for a minute. Sold his house in Rubens, and anyways, he come here for a couple months, and then he moved back to Lewiston and got a shop down there. But he has half his stuff still here, and so we got kind of a mess going on. And I got the workbench covered with car parts, and I had a water leak on my 55, and so when I got it apart, I can't leave anything alone, so I'm going to have to finish porting the intake, and I'm putting a spacer on it. And then I polished the carburetor the other day. I couldn't help myself, so I pulled the carburetor apart and polished it all, the Holly XP. So yeah, it's all good and polished now, and yeah, it's pretty good. And I ended up with the rear one, the run-inch spacer. So hopefully that single plane or that dual plane will perform a little bit more on top. I don't think, I was going to go to a single, but I don't want to kill the torque like we were talking about torque. This thing's got a freaking ton of torque. And then I'm switching the air cleaner top, which you guys delivered yesterday. So I'm going to go to that top on there. So that's kind of what we're doing. But I got to get it back together because, you know, car shows and Cars and Coffee in Lewiston and all that, and I got to get this thing going again. So, and I just pulled it out to clean it because it was off to the side of the shop, and I'd sold my wagon, and then down in Los Angeles there, and I bought about a 52 Chevy, and I still have my Safari over here, and yeah, and this is my go-to car. This is the car that always runs and always goes and doesn't get a lot of love. You know, gets cleaned up and just kind of doesn't drive a lot anymore. So I thought, well, this year I'm going to drive this one all the time. So it's not really different. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful car. But it's 55 Chevy. It's kind of like Camaro. See a lot of them. And even though it's my favorite, I mean, I really, really personally like it. But it's not really different for car show stuff. But I like it a lot. And I you know, with the water leak in there, I had to pull the intake off. So you know, I haven't touched this car in forever. Nothing really goes wrong with it. So, yeah, so it's hopefully going back together the next day or two. And I'm going to change some of the under the hood stuff. I'm going to change the look of it. With the it has aluminum heads on it, but I'm going to polish those. And I got those black valve covers and that matching air cleaner. So it'll be silver and black. Just a little different when I usually do. Everything I usually do is bright orange or that titanium GTO blue. I'm big into that color. So I'm going back to silver and black for a while. We'll see how that turns out. Different. Let's see. My ex got me one of them. I love it. Oh yeah, the bourbon thing. I thought 55 Chevy. That's pretty cool. Yeah, those bourbon things are cool. Yeah, my boys got it for me for Christmas a year ago. And then so we took the bourbons, put it in there, and then a year later we drank out of it. And yeah, it's great. And it's sitting out in the shop, and if I ever want some, I pour some out of it. It's getting kind of low. So yeah, but I have a collection of bourbon up there. So nothing really, you know, nothing over the top. Not, you know, the McFarland 13, I think is probably one of the best around. It's a fairly inexpensive bourbon, but it's got the quality of the good stuff. I mean, it's not cheap. It's $120 a bottle, but you know, it's not some like these, you know, $1,000 ones. But bourbon connoisseurs will tell you that McFarland 13 is a competitor for the price. So I love some Chevy orange. Even since I was a kid, my grand had a 56 Ford F100 completely custom, had a 383 stroker painted up, lasts with me till this day. And you know that I can totally, I know what you're talking about. I have a Chevy orange intake sitting right there with the valve covers and everything. And when I was a kid, the first car I built was at 15 years old. I built a 71 Nova with a 327, and I couldn't wait to paint it Chevy orange. It was Chevy orange anyways, you know, but I repainted it all. I had that chrome oil filter in it, chrome valve covers, chrome air cleaner, orange with all the chrome. That's what I did. And in my 56 wagon that I'd won all them freaking trophies, it was orange for the longest time. But then I switched over to that Pontiac color, kind of a rarer color. It's they only did it for a couple years in the GTOs. You have the Pontiac blue, but then you have this titanium. So it's a titanium, what is it called? It's called titanium silver blue. And it is a neat color. It's almost chrome blue. And with chrome, it just pops with chrome. So I don't know if you can see the difference. You can't really see it there, but it kind of really separates from chrome. I switched my motor, had a dual quad 355 in it. It wasn't a bunch of powerhouse, but it had a dual quad on it. And I switched to chrome valve covers, and then I went to that. And then I ended up going with the Holley fin valve covers, and I painted them that color, but then the sides were polished and the fins were polished, but the center section was that titanium. And it was kind of different. You looked at it, you're like, what? That's kind of cool. It was definitely cool. And it was totally different. Between my orange phase, which was for a long time, I went to black. I had black in. My dad had black as a kid. He had black. All his big blocks were black, and so I'd had black for a long time. My 502 was black with the silver, you know, the brushed aluminum. So this one's going to go to the black and silver with these valve covers here. I'll show you. I got to clean them up. But yeah, those valve covers there. So it'll be silver and black again with that lid. It'll look different. And with the aluminum heads, with the polished carburetor and stuff, it'll look good. Will it stay that way? It will for today. It may go orange, it may go back to that titanium. So I don't know. The block in this thing is black. I didn't paint it, and it's in there, and I'm not pulling it. So to pull the coated, you know, Luma-coated silver headers on it and repaint it and all that, and it's got a gold pan with the kickouts, it would be quite the job to paint it in there. And then I don't want to pull it to paint it, so I'm like, it'll just go silver and black. It's just kind of easier. We'll see. We will see. But I'm following Anthony on the orange. Chevy orange is kind of hard to beat. I mean, that's why they did it. You know, there's a reason why they did that. So Chevrolet was in, you know, competition with, you know, Dodge, Chrysler, Pontiac. All of them were in competition, you know, Ford. And kind of engines, kind of over the years, were kind of bland. And so when they come out in 55 with the small block Chevy, they went with that bright orange, as bright as they could go. And the engineers thought the bright orange made it look a little more cheap. And so what they did was in 56 only, and I'll show you the color. So this is an actual color off 56 Chevy. And it's dirty. It's got dust on it. Let me wipe it off. But in 56 only, they thought it looked more rich. Let me wipe it off there. They thought that orangish red was a better color. And so in 56, it's different than the Hugger orange. I don't know if it looks different, but it's red. It's not like deep red, but it's the brightest red they can come up with. And what the GM design guys were doing is they were going with, they didn't want to, they thought the orange looked cheap, but they were all going for, when you open the hood, woo, look at that. They wanted that jewelry effect. You know when you pop open a jewelry box? And now, by the way, I went to when I was a mechanic, I was actually at a high school, had a scholarship. I've talked about that a million times. I was at the training center where we built it. I was the first class through it. And so we had all these GM people telling us everything in the world from Pontiac, Cadillac, all this stuff. So this is where we learned all this stuff. And, you know, it was 8 hours a day we're at this school, besides my my education. Back to the story. in 56, they thought it needs to look richer. It looked kind of cheap. So the 56 Chevys are all that kind of reddish color. It's definitely a shade, it's not as bright. And the public didn't like it. They were like, the orange is way better. And back then, the body styles and cars changed every year. So they were on to the next thing. And right back to the orange they went. And they did it because when that hood opened up, they always described it as like a jewelry box. I got a microphone box, but when you open up your microphone box and you see the diamond in there, that's what they wanted. They wanted the wow factor. They wanted when you open it up, they're like, woo, when you go, hey, look at here's your new Chevrolet, here's your 1956 Chevy, woo. That's exactly why they did it. Ford wanted the bright blue. They kind of patented that color between them. They all did it. Chrysler, the Hemi and all that bright orange, they all did it. Kind of cool. And that's the actual true story from guys that know. That's not just some random thing on the internet. So, yeah, so that's what the reddish orange was in 56 only. And that's a good trivia question. You ask people what color they paint the engine in 56. And it ain't that hugger type GM orange. It's not really actually hugger orange. That wasn't until late 60s, but it's a hugger orange basically is what it is. But the red is different. Let's see. Well, it's getting late here. I better get to bed. Have a good one, man. Thank you, Colin, for all your support tonight and all the information. And it was great chatting with you on here. Thank you so much. Hope you like it and subscribe and all that stuff. And have a good night. And I'm going to go I got my notes. So I'm going to go check that out here in a minute because I'm getting about that time too. Let's see here. Never been a big chrome guy. Definitely prefer black and orange. Also love anytime somebody does white on an engine. My son loves white on an engine and chassis components. Really just so clean. My youngest son he's wanting to paint his engines white so bad. He will do it. I guarantee it. Because he's not a listener. He's a doer. And when he starts talking about that stuff, it's coming. He's gonna paint his block white, and he's gonna Woody Wood. I've had a few red, orange 265s. There you go. That's it. And they're red orange. They're 1,000,000% different. So, and I actually have a 65 intake and carburetor and air cleaner over there, and it is hugger orange. Somebody painted it. It's been repainted, but I do have a two barrel from a 265 from a 1956 Chevy with the carburetor, with the air cleaner. I have it all. I'll show you. It's kind of cool. I just saved it over here. It's got the GM hoses on it, but there's one right here. And of course, you see my red. That's the difference. That shows you the difference right there. That's how much these are car show. When you go to the car show and you take girls with you, throw your umbrellas in there because they love them. Your wife will thank you. But yeah, there you go. And it's got the original stickers and everything on it. And it has the original GM hoses. But somebody painted that orange at some point. That came off an actual 56 Chevrolet convertible car out of Oregon. And it's all good. Carburetor's in good shape. I don't know what I was going to do with it, but I kept it here. It has all the stickers on it and everything. So, and it's older restoration. So the motor came out, they painted the wrong color. It is what it is. But then I got a Corvette one up there. But that's a newer Corvette, but I put the 283 sticker on it because I had it on in my old wagon. And then I do have a set of old original Edelbrocks. Those are the earliest ones without the staggered bolts. There's a number on the inside. A buddy of mine gave me those. I run them on a car for a while just because they were so rare. Yeah. So that's where we're at. And I got this too. I don't know if anyone's interested in this, but I do have these that I would like to get rid of, and the price would be right. Somebody pay for shipping or come get them, it would be good. But my neighbor gave me these, and he says, hey, we need to get rid of these. So somebody wants these. I got a set of 4 of them here. Yep, 4 of them. And they're all pristine. I have no use for them. And as a hot rod guy, if there's a guy at the Ford out there that needs that crown and needs that hubcap, I have 4 really nice ones. And like I said, the price is right. Just email me or come. Oh, there's my gaskets. We were talking about them earlier. But yeah, so I have those. My neighbor gave them to me. He said, I know you'll be able to get the right person with those hubcaps. And so, yeah, if somebody needs them, let me know. They can have them. I'm not going to pay to ship them though, even though I have the coolest male people in the world. But if somebody needs those Ford hubcaps like that, let me know, because there's 4 really nice ones. All right, Woody Wood. So how's everything going tonight? Hope everything's good. Like I said, I was just out here screwing around and threw it on. And actually, I was going to test my microphone. I was having issues with the phone on my last live. It was cutting out. I listened to it. I'm like, what in the heck was that? It was terrible. So yeah, that's it. So I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know if anybody else has anything else going on. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. If I missed something, catch me on the next one or email me or whatever. But I appreciate it. Everybody could do the old tap on there, and we are going to wrap this thing up. But good to see everybody. And Anthony, thanks for stopping in, and Rob and all my guys. I really appreciate that. And Anthony, we'll see you at the post office. Take it easy, Rob. So yeah, Anthony's down at the post office. So I'll be mailing your hat down there. So I think he mailed your stuff the other day. Yeah. So all your soaps and all that. You guys have a good night. Again, thanks again, Rob, for all your help. You don't know how much I appreciate all that. And we'll catch you on the next one. And Woody Wood, see you later. Anthony, see you later. Colin, see you guys later. And Rob, there you go. Go get yourself one. Get yourself one. Oh, all right. We'll talk to you on the next round. See ya.